conference at ASAE, but I'm not here tonight to talk about design or about websites. I'm here to talk about saying no. Because in our personal lives and in our work experience, no is a really hard thing to say. It makes us feel really uncomfortable. And one of the reasons that it makes us feel uncomfortable is it going to advance. It feels like it's been 50 seconds. There it is. Tick, tick, tick. Is because saying yes makes us feel good. When we have interactions with people and we get to say yes to them, we feel like that interaction has been positive. We feel like that moment that we have delivered and made them feel cared for. But when we say yes, it's not just about, thank you, and it's not just about that interaction. When we say yes, we're actually taking on work and responsibilities. And the moment that we have, we're not actually doing that work. We're just saying yes or no. So yes and no make real differences in our workload when we're in the office. Not just for the thing that we've accepted, but also for the myriad of other things that are on our plate. Because we all have a finite amount of energy to put to the different projects that we have. So when we say yes or no, we're actually diffusing that creative energy over the breadth of the things that we're working on. Or we're putting in extra time, and that can be great. Some projects really are worth taking on and working the night and working the weekend, but it changes our experience in the office. And sometimes it gets us to the point where it's really hard for us to see if adding another rock onto the project is going to make it soar to new heights, or if it's going to topple over and just crash and burn. And the more we take on, sometimes the harder it is to really be thoughtful in that moment. And really thoughtful yeses and nos is what I'm talking about here. Not just a reflexive response when somebody calls and says, hey, what do you think about X? Well, it's really deeper than that for most of us when we're taking on new work. Because when we're going into projects evolve, and there's usually a life cycle and a process, and we never want to say this isn't the right time to have new ideas. But in reality, there are times where executing that ideas are better than others. And sometimes the ideas can, if you just take them all in and as you're going through, you just want to make people feel like they're part of the process and that their ideas heard, it can create really unusable results. So you throw in the kitchen sink and you just can't use it anymore. Really the most obvious thing for when saying yes and saying no can have real business impact is when you're saying yes to things during the change request cycle, and those change requests just keep adding on and adding on and adding on, and you just lose sight of the end project because costs keep growing. And most people say when you say, what kind of design style do you like? They like clean, and yet everybody wants you to add one more thing, and that really reduces the simplicity and the cleanliness and the focus that people are looking for. And it diffuses, like we were saying earlier, it diffuses that thinking, so that really that laser precision is now spread out over 42 things as opposed to 7 things. So it's really harder for us to deliver on our mission and our purpose. And ultimately, not every idea is a great idea. We all like to think that every idea that we have when you're in the shower, wouldn't it be cool if it had 2 heads? Maybe, maybe not. And sometimes saying, maybe not is something that you just want people to say to you. But it's hard for us to hear. It's hard when somebody says, hey, Amy, that idea, not really one of your best. Even they're not saying no, it hurts a little bit because it's your idea. You put time and energy and passion into that idea. And it can bruise your ego up just a little bit. But my thinking is if we can start to hear the word no a little differently, even when they're not saying no exactly, it can reframe our thinking so that if we can be the first agents of we can reframe our thinking. If we can be the first, talking faster than if we can be the first agents of looking at it differently and really starting to value that when people are saying yes and or saying no, that they're not saying that they don't care about the life of our project, but really they are saying that they want it to succeed and they want it to be the best that they can, and they don't think that the individual thing that we're asking for is going to help make it the best that it can be. And they're really trying to create that space for them to be and bring their most creative selves to the project, because if they take on that extra effort or they take on that change request, that they really can't then bring that sharp creative focus that we all need for our organizations. I really just wanted to use this picture because I took it in Yosemite. So that we can really push our organizations to move forward and achieve the results that we really want to deliver to our members and for our organizations, so that we can deliver on our mission, our purpose, our vision, and move forward with clarity and focus. And that can really start if we start hearing no differently, and if we become less uncomfortable saying it, because it is something that's really important.